Volkswagen believes its return to relevance in the US market is a path best traveled in SUVs, big SUVs. To that end, it has recently introduced not one but two three-row crossovers, and both are the biggest in their respective classes. The aptly named Atlas is the grandly proportioned family hauler at the top of the lineup, while the formerly compact Tiguan has been reimagined, emerging as a near mid-sizer. Significantly larger than its predecessor, which lives on for now as the Tiguan Limited, the new Tig adds 7.3 inches of wheelbase and grows by 10.6 inches in overall length. The Tiguan's bigger bod allows VW to stuff a third-row seat inside, which is standard on the front drive models but a $500 option on all-wheel drive versions. Blame the vagaries of federal regulations defining light trucks versus passenger cars for that oddity. The cramped confines of that third row, however, are best reserved for your least favorite members of the carpool. Much better is the spacious middle bench, which reclines and slides fore and aft, scooted forward to alleviate some of the suffering of those behind. With the rearmost seats in use, there's also precious little luggage space, 12 cubic feet, but you probably expected that. Fold those seats down and the Tiguan hauls a class-competitive 33 cubic feet, or 66 cubes with all the seatbacks folded. Mass and motivation. The new Tiguan's larger dimensions bring a commensurate increase in weight. The front drive version tested here packed on a whopping 485 pounds compared with the previous generation front driver. At 3,941 pounds, the VW also is 82 pounds heavier than the larger, six-cylinder, and all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. It's 247 pounds porkier than the all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue, and it's burdened with an additional 433 pounds more than the all-wheel drive Honda CR-V. As hefty as the front-wheel drive Tiguan is, the AWD version we recently tested was 145 pounds heavier still. Unfortunately, the turbocharged inline-4 engine under the hood hasn't grown at all. It displaces the same 2.0 liters as before, although this is not the same engine. Horsepower actually is lower than the old engines, at 184 compared with 200, but torque at least has increased to 221 pounds-to-foot from 207. This Turbo 4 struggles to motivate the AWD Tiguan, but it has a slightly easier time of it powering the front drive version. The front drive Tig cut nearly a second off the AWD model's 0 to 60 mph time, but its 8.2-second figure is still only middling for the segment. An all-wheel drive Honda CR-V hit 60 in 7.6 seconds in our tests. The front driver also beat its all-wheel drive sibling in the quarter mile, 16.3 seconds at 86 mph versus 16.9 at 83 mph. The boosted 4's initial throttle tip-in can be abrupt, but the slack in the response disappears once underway. The 8-speed automatic is never caught out and can be made more responsive to a prod of the go pedal by shifting from D to S. In addition, doing so does not lock out top gear, so the position effectively can be used all the time. The direct-injected 4's gravelly warble is your constant companion whenever the engine is under load, and it grows wearisome in city and suburban driving. It recedes into the background on the highway, however. The highway is also where the power range efficiency really shines. The EPA rates the FWD Tiguan at a mediocre 22 mpg city and 27 highway, besting its all-wheel drive sibling by just 1 mpg in the city, but we did better than that. Over more than 1,000 miles of mostly highway driving with some heavy traffic thrown in, we averaged 28 mpg. Versus the 24 mpg we observed with the AWD model. Both versions overachieved on our 75 mph highway fuel economy test, with the front driver notching 32 mpg and the AWD 33 mpg. The Tiguan's growth spurt did not make it nimbler, although the big Tig is capable in the twisties and its ride is firm but not harsh. It's chiefly the over-boosted steering that keeps it from being entertaining. The VW circled our skid pad at a modest 0.78 grams before its Pirelli Scorpion Vert all-season tires, sized 235/50R19, waved the white flag. That low rolling resistance rubber probably was a factor in the Tiguan's braking performance, as the VW required 176 feet to stop from 70 miles per hour, but the hardware is stout enough that there was no fade after 6 hard stops. Screen time. The Tiguan starts at $26,095 for the base S and progresses through SE, Cell, and Cell Premium trim levels. In all cases, all-wheel drive adds $1,300. To its $37,150 base price, our Cell Premium test example added but one option, Habanero Orange Metallic Paint for $295. The Cell Premium already comes fully equipped with leather, an oversized sunroof, outline and ambient lighting, adaptive cruise control, automated emergency braking, lane keeping assist, blind spot warning, heating for the front seats and steering wheel, a power liftgate, a surround view camera system, a configurable digital instrument cluster, and an 8.0-inch touchscreen with navigation. The generously sized touchscreen responds to swiping and pinching motions, and it's abetted by volume and tuning knobs. The navigation, however, proved flaky on a 3-day, 1,100-mile, multi-stop trip, with wild swings and estimated arrival time as the system contemplated wacky maneuvers such as turning around for no reason. The system also chose routes that were much slower than those suggested by smartphone apps, so eventually we gave up on it and just used Waze instead, a task made easy by the standard Android Auto capability. Apple CarPlay also is included but doesn't incorporate Waze functionality. The top-spec Tiguan's interior is pleasant and functional, but we wouldn't call it luxurious, particularly in the rear, where a noxious bit of cost-cutting strips the door panels of the padding and the glossy trim strip that adorns the front doors. The seats, though, are well-shaped and supportive, there's plenty of stowage, and the 2 USB ports in front are easily accessible. Visibility is good to the front and sides thanks to narrow A-pillars, but the view to the rear is obstructed by the aft pillars and rear headrests. The new Tiguan's tweener size, bigger than a CR-V or Toyota RAV4 but not as big as a Ford Edge or Hyundai Santa Fe Sport, might be just right for some subset of the market, particularly for those with the occasional need to carry more than 5 passengers, provided at least 2 are small. For that narrowly defined group, choosing the front-drive Tiguan provides a modest increase in performance and fuel economy over the all-wheel drive version.